Good morning, optimists. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. And I haven't done any trades or taken too much look at the market. I was just starting to get it assessed. But we'll jump on in there and get that assessed together. Give me a second. Try to get my book maps up. Alrighty. Screen up. Boom. Boom. Mm, mm, Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so market's dropping quite a bit, actually pretty heavily. Wow. So we got a pretty nice rip at the open. Well, about 6:45. This is actually one of my favorite things to trade. Wish I had been here for this. We're essentially at the open. Right here at the open, we got this drop. It recovered. And then we got this crossover here and ripped on up. But right here, I think I would have gone long just because we were starting to see all these things pop up here. But now we're getting a pretty heavy drop there. Zoom in a little bit. So we had a red yellow on the 1 minute chart that actually failed. You can see right here. Rejected off of that pretty heavily. So we may be potentially dropping down. Apologies about the alarm yet again. Let's check out what Bookmaps has to say. So this area here had a bunch of contracts that got pulled. Next area looks like 45.57, and then also resistance up here at 45.62. This is right around where the market closed yesterday. On the 10-second side, we actually got a downward cross that I considered shorting. Looks like it might have wanted to. Yesterday I got hit pretty heavily. $888 in losses. Kind of puts me back to where I'm at, or where I started at the beginning of the week. Last Monday, I took a $1,671 loss. I'm right back down to it after working my way out of it. So I don't like that price stall, but a lot of resistance at 63. A pretty nice bounce off of 59 and 60 area, though. Check this on the 1. Going back to about 60. It's looking like it's starting to range out again like it did yesterday. 8 range days. Personally, want trend reversals myself. Do seem to have pretty decent support there along 60. seen anything yet. What up, Kevin? Good to see you. What's we got? This spot here, 6250, is actually what trapped me yesterday, and took a big fat loss like right at the very end of the day. It was at that 6250 zone. Check book maps. We'll look for a long here potentially. The 63 is gonna act as pretty heavy resistance, but I think that given, well, there's not a lot of not a lot of contracts down here. There's nothing to really prop it up. But we have this like ascending or descending wedge here. Kind of like an extended flag. Enjoy the bid here, try and get in at 61.75. I was feeling like this was the zone. Having a hard time getting a fill, like always. And I was feeling like that was the spot too. It ran without me. I've waited a long time for that. Okay, so I think that we will likely get a pullback. Try and grab a pullback if we can, if there is one. I think that we'll probably get one back to around 61.50.
Order filled.
In at 62.25, which is way higher than I want to be in by like 2-3 ticks. Now there was a pullback at 61.50. Just need to be more patient. Fair amount of resistance at 62.75. We do have this crossover here, potentially inbound.
Order filled.
I took an additional contract there at 61.50. And I'm going to reduce this other contract here. I'm going to take a look at my trailing max. Trailing max at 730. Reduce my sell order to 62.52, which is where this resistance has been. You can just push up like 2 ticks.
Order filled.
All right, there we go. We got that. It was worth 75.50, I guess. I think it was one that I needed to be patient for. Yep. I could have done my entry better and got that 6150 that I mentioned. In fact, it was like that was the exact entry, and I mentioned it way back here, but I took a higher trade because I had FOMO, I think, from the original push that I wanted to take advantage of. So there you have it. Assessment of self. All right, getting a push up now. You can see on this that the buyers are in control at this moment. Big push up. This looks kind of similar to yesterday's trading. I really did not enjoy. I definitely could have taken more meat off that bone. Getting a nice size pullback now. Resistance at 65. We're gonna join the bid here about 63.50. No fill, just tap my order, but no fill. I'm gonna pull that one off and look for an entry off 62.75, which is off the 9 exponential. No fill on that one. There were a lot of no fills often. Trailer max at 974. And account is down a good $1,500 or so. Kind of double top up there. So flag on the play, double top, and heavy resistance at 65. What's this looking like here? A lot more buyers up on the... A lot more people on the buy side, looks like. And I missed a lot of that move. I think that we absolutely could have captured that better. We have a flag here now. I would like to see a pullback to the 9 EMA. Good. Up here near these highs. for the breakout off that flag. Wow, massive pop. Really did get that pullback to the 9. We got this flag here that sort of ascended up, which is what kind of made me a little bit sketchy about taking the trade, because it kind of looked like it was also an ascending wedge, which would drop down pretty heavily. And more resistance at 67. It don't matter, don't care. Or is it seemingly absorbing it? Plenty of moves. I'm just not really getting them. I see a pullback test of 65. There's way more buy orders right now than there are sell. I mean, look at this. It's totally flipped on the buy side. Would this be a blue sky setup? Let's take a look real fast. Somebody know the all-time high of the ES? Try to look up the historical data. This looks like this is the all-time highs right here. Let me get the chart back up. Let's see if there's an indicator for all-time high. Or just a way to turn it on. I know I'm kind of missing this move here, but also I just haven't really seen an entry that I like. This right here would have been a nice entry, but I didn't take it because of the ascension. I have another hammer candle there. When this slams down, it's going to slam down heavily, I think. But we have resistance at 69 all the way up through 70 and a half. But pretty heavy resistance there. So I think I would need to see this pull back to like 65 or 62. There's the oil up too. Oil's kind of ripping today. I don't really like trading oil that much. I do, but not as much as I like trading the ES. Nas. Nas looks like it's setting up for a breakout. Already had a pretty nice breakout off that support there of 67.65. $68.50 looking at the high of the ES. There's a pullback to the 9 EMA. Could get a push up to 69. That was a pretty heavy breakout there. About an $8 surge up. Only got a very small fraction of it. Might look for a red yellow on the 20-second chart. Currently it's a pullback to 66 and a quarter. Resistance showing up at 68. lot of contracts chilling up there at 70. Right now, on the 10-second chart, 9 is below 12. 35 is still above 50. 26 is on top. So in order to take it long, I would need to see these moving averages set up in the proper order. And the 20-second chart is still red on TTM. So we got on 1 minute. Say it's starting to find a little support. Gonna miss that move, mainly because it moved before the moving averages set up. Nine, 12, 26 crossover, 35 is in the right spot. And TCM here. Resistance now at 68. Checking this 20. That was the red to yellow on the 22nd that we mentioned. Join the bid here.
Order filled.
In at 67 and a quarter, trying to get out at 68, where there's a lot of resistance chilling. Reduce this sell order. Currently sitting at break even in this trade.
Order filled.
Took a micro profit on that, and it looks like it's gonna break out, but that resistance up there at 68. This, like, if it doesn't get absorbed, then we'll probably get a crash down. Up $104. Slow day for me, but the market's moving well enough. I could just be trading it better. I think I'm trading overly cautious just because I took a fat loss last Monday and yesterday. So, and I worked myself out of that hole throughout the whole week, and then dug myself immediately back into it on yesterday's trading. So I think I'm trading a little cautious, but it also looks like it was the right move. So if anybody knows the name of this this section here of book maps, I'd love to know about it, because I've been trying to find this part and I just can't seem to locate. So I want to know more about this percentage and this whole bar here. It's kind of self-explanatory, but it also leaves questions. So what up, ZZ? Down 500. Sorry to hear that, homie. I got beat up yesterday. I took a loss at 888. So last Monday, I took a loss of $1,671. I worked my way out of it all week and got back to almost profitable. Then yesterday I took a hit of 888 and put me right back where I was. So it's kind of challenging when the market is making these new highs. Yes, it is starting to get choppy. I'm starting to see that too. This breakout here was pretty smooth. The one that was leading up to where we're at now. and I only captured a small portion of it, like a very small portion of it. Here. These are the buys, and this was the sell. But there was so much resistance sitting here, so many orders chilling there that I took it off early, and then it just ripped up. This one I also apparently took off early. It did break through the resistance of 69 or 68, sorry. You see we got a lot of orders chilling there at 69.50. 70 has been the hot spot. It's just a solid red danger noodle here. So to break through 70, we would need a lot, but you can see the buyers are starting to step in. There's more buyers than there are sellers right now. You can see how large this buy side is looking. And typically when this starts to overpower on green, someone get a rip. But the reason I'm not taking a lot of trades has a lot to do with this danger noodle chilling here at 70. So I'm chilling up $104, but still a long way to go to get the account right. I'm about to have a second account starting Friday. So that's when my other rebuild goes through. The breakout finished you for the day? Just keep a stop loss. I think you good. You know me, ZZ, though, man. Maybe if I do very wide stops, then I can do stop losses. But, dude, I made way more money not using stop losses than I did using them. And that was because almost every single time that I would set a stop loss, it would get hunted, and then it would rip up immediately afterwards, and I'd get kicked out of the trade, which really told me that what that actually communicated to me was that I needed to work on my entries. And entries is actually one of the most challenging parts of trading for me, is finding the best or most proper area of entry. That's usually been one of the biggest challenges. Oh, do you mean like a mental stop? Now we're just kind of grinding upward. I don't really like this zone here, the way it's pushing. You can see some of the orders have been absorbed up there at 70, though. Oh, yeah, just the point of exit. Yeah. So the real Q is, will we break through 70? If we do, but you can see that there's two other really strong resistance zones, 71 and 72. So when the resistance zones start getting this heavy and close together, I get kind of sketchy. This is getting bought up. 71 did not get bought up though. A lot of orders pulled in here though, filled in along this bottom. I was honestly hoping for like a pullback to 65, but we never really got it. I think I've been so used to trading down here for so long that I'm always like, man, like, can we get like a flip to the downside for a bit? Oil looks the exact same, man. What's the NAS looking like? NAS looks like it's about to get a breakout. There's a lot of resistance at the 200 moving average, but it's been finding support at the 50. And you can see the 52, the 50 and the 200 are coming in closer and closer. NAS might have a good breakout session here coming up. Let's take a look at the nails. Well, my NAS setups are huge. Oh, but I guess they're worth $5 a contract. That must be why. I trade the NAS. There's kind of a lot of resistance there at 15,800. Dude, exactly, man. This is what I've been looking for all week. Ah, dude. The reversals, man, have been really, really challenging to find. The top, I think, is going to be somewhere in the 70s. I think the lower 70s, personally. That's my thought. I could be wrong. Now this looks like it's gonna have a breakout about 8:30, I think. Potentially before. Try to take 2 contracts on it, sort of missed the move.
Order filled.
Took a stab on the NAS.
Order filled.
Made a little bit of money on the NAS, about $40. $44 actually. Trailer max at 1046. NAS is looking like bullish, in my opinion. I know it's down a little bit on the day, but you can see this moving average crossovers about to set up. We're strongly hanging out above the volume weighted average price. We got the 9 and 12 moving above the 200 moving average. I think we're about to break this area on the NAS.
Order filled.
Got filled a little high, but
Order filled.
took another $40 or so, $44 off the NAS, up 192. NAS is breaking out. Can I trade during news? Yes, I can. I can trade during news on both Apex and Elite Trader Funding. So they don't restrict me in any of those capacities. And yeah, I very specifically looked for companies that allowed me to trade during news because I too, like, it's just too much for me to keep up with a lot of the time. Like, I run a family, I help my wife out with her business, etc. Like, there's a lot that I do in my daily that just keeping up with market news is a lot for me, especially ones that are like very specific reports that are, for futures. So both Elite Trader Funding and Apex Trader Funding allow you to trade during news and holidays as well. And Elite Trader Funding has a plan that allows you to hold positions overnights, weekends, and holidays. And yes, on the funded. Not evaluations because the rules are broad. I was under the impression that this was on the funded. So let me verify that for you, ZZ. We can look at it together right now. So let's go to see more details. So I'm looking for a set of Elite Trader Funding just because it's very easily navigatable. Their website is, in my opinion, one of the best ones out there that has the most information. Details on trading days. What is considered a trading day? Does Sunday count as a trading day? No, it counts as Monday. Maximum account positions. I qualified. Now what? There's no need to email us. Please see the Elite account rules. So here's the account rules for Elite. That's what I'm saying. Like, Elite Trader Funding's website is so much easier to navigate. So they call their Elite accounts is what their paid accounts are. Below is an explanation of Elite account rules. View your Elite account payouts page to see how payouts work. You must pass one of our evaluations to qualify for an Elite account. So trailing drawdown. Here's how it works in the one-step qualified accounts. It's pretty simple when you look at the chart. More or less, it's the same trailing max, and then once you pass the trailing max by $100, then you no longer have a trailing max, or rather, it stays at $100 above. Am I allowed to trade overnight? No, you're not allowed to trade whole positions overnight. All trades must be closed 1 minute for the close of the market. Different instruments have different market closing times. It's your responsibility to know those closing times and close your positions. Details on trading days. What qualifies as trading day? That's any day you place a trade qualifies. Sunday and Monday count as the same day. Does Sunday count? Okay, trade. Holidays and during news. Yes. So in your paid account on Elite, yes. Just know that during these events, volatility can be very low or extremely high and can wipe out an account quickly if risk management is not applied. So to answer your question on Elite, the paid accounts, the qualified accounts, yes, you can trade during news and holidays. So I hope that answers that question. Now on to the Apex side, there's a little bit harder to navigate. Holidays, news. Let's see, trade during news. How's that? I think that works. This one I'm gonna have to probably look up a little bit more in depth because I gotta have to pour through the FAQ because they don't really have these set up on just very quick, easy to access pages. So I may have to pour a little bit deeper onto the Apex, but I can get you the answer pretty quickly. ZZ, you're in the Discord community, right? I'm not sure if I know your name in there. Yeah, I totally understand. Like, I think it'd be very whack if your rules were significantly different on your paid account versus your actual evaluation. I can think that would. I don't think I would want to work with a company like that. So that's something I personally will look into as well for my own self. Because I think I just potentially took it at face value based off the evaluation. But elite trader funding is for sure. And I will find the Apex info. See if I can so they do I'm gonna look for it on the homepage. Trade any day, 23 hours a day, during news. I know that this is this could be trade during news. You won't fail because normal day-to-day system during news announcement, news trading strategies themselves, directional, multi-directional, your news or pre-news entries, or windfalls of any kind. Pre-news entries for windfalls of any kind are prohibited. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'll have to dig deeper on this. It's kind of annoying. So I say I think Elite Trader Funding is one of the easier websites to access, like to understand. The NAS looks like way better for trading for me, for my style right now. Join the bid here on the NAS.
Order filled.
Entered at 15,802. Would have liked to get under 800. Gonna get out of 804. Wow, 803 almost seems like a resistance level or something. Ooh, big pullback there on the NAS. Try to buy up that pullback. I missed some of it. Trying to buy up that pullback, but couldn't get a fill on it. Yeah, 15,802.50 or so seems to be.
Order filled.
Like 2 more contracts on the NAS. Maybe that's a mistake. Wow, sitting down like 400. NAS can pile up fast with too many contracts. Trying to get out at like 801. I definitely could have timed this, like did this entry a lot better. Now I feel kind of like I'm sweating on this. Just pull back a lot more than I was expecting. I might have to cut this. I gotta cut that. Ooh.
Order filled.
Like $450 loss on that. Down 270 on the day now. Trailing max down at 628. I think I was a little overzealous. Well, I know I was overzealous. I don't have the stomach to handle drawdown. Did end up pulling back. I think I did kill it a little early, but I didn't have the room available. I need to make sure that I still have a couple $100 available in the drawdown. I'm waiting for this crossover here. If we can get the previous close on here. Yes, it's hanging around 70 again. Shorting after the break on the NAS. There is red on the TCM, so it's not really a good place for me to go long yet. I need to see a red yellow begin to play out. I'd say that because just this is so close to the crossover. You have a downward cross up here at the 1226, so this may pull back to like the VWAP. For the drop there. See if it holds the view up here. Nah, that's too heavy of a pullback. So this crossover may actually fail. That's why I don't wait or don't take trades until it actually happens. Yes, I'm waiting for it to turn over too. For the downside. Kind of seems like it's on its way. Here's 830. Yes, it's slowly moving to the downside. Very slowly. It's not that slow. Like a minute or two, but it feels slow to me. Yeah, it's looking like a flip to the down.
Order filled.
No, man. I was gonna cut that. Oh well.
Order filled.
Tiny little profit there. I actually was gonna cut this and not take this trade, just because it looked like there was some indecision around here. So, but a little bit of profit, I guess. Down 241. What the Nas end up doing? Pulling back and popping back. As moving very volatile on the NAS. So the 5 minute NAS has 200 moving average up there at 815. So if we do break out on the 1 minute, I'd be sketched out a little bit about the 815 zone. 15-minute chart of the NAS zone kind of shows us pushing a little bit towards the downside. We're finding support off of 60. 3-minute cool off. There's a nice red yellow move here on the NAS. NAS moving quick. You got the top on the ES. TP? What's TP? We're like, is that take profit or something else? Dude, I did not want to take that. I was I was intending to not take that. Still worked still worked out, but I was actually gonna try to take it here at like 98, 99. Because I was like, oh, it looks like it's gonna pull back some. So still worked out, but down 147.50 on the day. Now it looks like it's gonna rip. I would be sketched out a little bit about 815 zone. High of the days up there at 843. ES doesn't have a ton of resistance ahead of it. Until you to like 71, 72 area. A lot of orders coming in at 67.5, 68 area for it. For ES. ES looks like it's bouncing. Oh, sorry, didn't even have my charts up. Apologies. Oh, take profits. Okay. Terrible red day. Sorry to hear that, homie. Yes, looks like he's about to push up again. Make another pop to the top. There is this resistance level here, but after all this pullback, it seems as if we consolidated through this zone and we're ready for another push. 71 is going to be a little bit of a line in the sand. But looking at book maps, 71 ain't even that much resistance. The resistance really starts to show up a little bit at 71, 75, but mainly up here at 73. I was gonna say, see if we can get a pullback to about like 69 or so. But on the 10-second chart, looks like we're about to get a crossover on the ES 5200 cross. Not a lot of room to take larger trades besides these little scalps, which is kind of annoying because I'd like to do more like 5 to 7 ticks. But given the movement, volume, and everything like that, just need to stick with 3 and 3, unfortunately. So let's see, we got some danger noodles up here at the top. One at 71.75, another one up here at 73. I don't know if I call it a danger noodle. That's usually where the red is. That's more of what I would consider to be the danger noodles. I think this was that pullback here, which is really kind of an early place for this. Yeah, it was.
Order filled.
Long here at 71.25. See, it could be a mistake, but we're gonna have to try to ride it up to 72. There's a lot of buyers there. Nope. The entry was early and incorrect. This more should have been the entry zone, but this looks like this could fail. See if we get a yellow on. I entered way too early. I think I tried to take this off the 9 EMA, and it's not quite at that zone yet. Not a lot of resistance up there at 72. Big resistance is at 73. Entries at 71.25. Tapping my cell.
Order filled.
There we go.
Order filled.
All right, so down 44 bucks, made about $100 back on that. It looks like it's gonna break long with the TTM here, plus with the crossover, and I think that we're gonna test these highs, if not push past them. But there is a lot of sell orders up there at 73 and at 74, but you can see the book is on the buyer side. You can see that pretty heavily here. And I'm just treading water today. But I'm pretty sure I pushed my trailing max today, so it's less good. Down 44 bucks. Mainly off that trade off the NAS that brought me down about 450 or so. Off my initial wins. What was that loss? 310 and 140. Yeah, 450. So all in all, I made about 475 gross and lost 450 gross. But then with fees and everything, total P&L is negative 44 bucks. It did pop up past 73. So could have gone for a little bit more, but like I said, in this market, I don't really want to go for more than like 3 or 4 ticks. I think 4 is kind of the maximum that I would want to go for right now. Just given the movement, just because it like the breakouts have been really slow and long in order to get to where they need to go. I hate the micros, dude. The micros add stress to me. They do not reduce stress to me. They add a significant amount of stress to me, and the reason why is because if I'm earning $1.25 or if I'm earning like 12.50 or something like that for a trade, like to me, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna be 357 years old before I get anywhere. And so like I understand I could have more patience, I could trade more contracts, etc. But the micros do not reduce stress to me, so I just don't even mess with them. The only time that I use the micros is if my trailing max is so far down that I need to bring it back up to like 200 or 300 or something like that. That's really the only time I use the micros. Outside of that, yeah, I pretty much just trade the mini. I'd rather trade the mini with 1 contract than trade in the micro with 10 contracts. And even though it's the same trade, it just it does compound, but it's I don't know, man. I I can pull 400 bucks off of trading the minis in 3 trades with 3 contracts. And so it doesn't reduce stress to me. It's literally the exact same thing or more stress. So it's kind of the micros, not the minis. Yeah, the minis are not any more or less stressful to me. Um, the micros, man, I feel like I'm pulling my hair out, honestly. And a lot of people tell me to trade it, but it just sort of like I don't know, man. It's like watching paint dry. We did get this breakout. All of that stuff at 73 and 74 got absorbed. Wow, big, huge bubble up there. Next resistance goes at 80. A lot of resistance there at 80. What I actually could benefit more, I think, would be trading more on the 1 minute chart, which I used to do a lot. And it's more in recent months that I started trading on the 10 and the 20, which are useful a lot of times for being able to trade breakouts before they happen or short things before they drop, etc. But 1 minute, for example, on this particular trade here, could have informed me based off the TTM and whatnot, and off some of the other indicators and the chart movement itself. The 1 minute here could have informed me that I could have bought about right here or so, or possibly right here, and just held it for a much larger trade. So that is definitely one area that I know that I could use to improve. TTM's at 5.1, seems a little extended now. But 80 is where all the resistance is at. How many orders are sitting up here? Trying to learn all that I can about Bookmap, because I've taken some pretty dope trades using it. But I've only been using it for like 10 days, maybe 2 weeks or so. That's awesome though. Do you just like set it on and then just like let it essentially on like a trend day or something, buy low and then just wait for it to trend for the rest of the day? I think if I was to use the micro, I might like just like buy 2 contracts or something and just let it chill. It's like if I'm looking for a very long trade, like something that I'm gonna be in for probably a few hours, I would think. I like to be in and out in like under 30 seconds. You get this breakthrough up to 80. I'd be weary at 80 though, because there's a lot of contracts chilling. Whoa, look at all these. Looks like 78 might act as pretty strong support. It's chilling on the bid here. We'll see. Oh, they pulled those. Those didn't even get filled. They pulled them. Spoofed it. They pulled those before they filled. 80 is getting heavier. You can see the line is getting darker. There's more contracts piling into 80. There's about 450 contracts or so chilling up there at 80. And we're getting some pushback now. This is what I was anticipating with this area here. Would have liked to have taken this move though. So you go for like 300 ticks. Yeah, I think that we do trade kind of differently. I don't like to be in a trade for more than like 30 seconds, man. Like I think my longest future trade ever I think was like 20 minutes. I don't know if I could pull that info. Well, I probably won't be able to with this particular evaluation because this has only been going for a few weeks, but I'll say this month. Accuracy 71. My average losing trade time 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Longest losing trade was 16 minutes and 14 seconds. Longest win was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. That's what I'm saying. I don't stay in trades very long. Basically, I got wrecked last Monday, and I've been playing catch up since. So the NAS did end up ripping a lot. NAS ripped like $100. Wow. There's that 5200 cross that we were waiting for on the NAS. Yes, looks like it's gonna pull back some. A lot of orders on both sides of the ES. NAS stopped you out. Sorry, help me. Were you short on the NAS? Yeah, like last Friday, to give an example, last Friday, I traded for 14 minutes and I made $428. Um, so like I said, I've been essentially recovering since last Monday. I overtraded and I traded emotionally and I traded while I was tired, a bunch of other stuff on Monday. And I was trading in a trending market, which I'm not good at trading range days. I'm terrible at it. That's what yesterday was too, was range trading. I'm so bad at that. For me, trend reversals is where it's at. And in particular, like with the NAS, like in particular, this particular move right here with this 5200 crossover is probably my biggest bread and butter. And combining that with the TTM as well, and then just using the 9, mainly the 9. These other ones are more on here just to measure the 9 and the 50, but essentially combining the 9, the 5200 cross, and the TTM squeeze, like these three indicators together are so powerful. Or these three together, and so a lot of times that's usually what I'm looking for. This is, in my opinion, this would be considered that trend reversal breakout. And this is usually my bread and butter. I mean, this is usually when I'm trading. I'm unfamiliar with trading the NAS. I haven't really traded that much since last July, but I've been taking some pokes at it recently. And starting to trade it more and more. So the ES I trade the same way, and the same strategies work on the ES as well. Oil, it does work as well, but oil is often slow and a little less predictable, in my opinion. So even when oil is fast, it's slow. But I might start trading the NAS more frequently. Which happens to be popping up pretty good. flag in the ES. ES still has a ton of contracts chilling up there at 80. This is what I mean by a danger noodle. A big red snake in the grass. Yeah, I was green earlier today too. I mean that sucks. I mean, you saw me go from green to red on that NASDAQ trade. Yeah, it's usually about 15 to 20 minutes. Like if I can catch the market at the right time, for me it's anywhere between 15 and 30, I would say is more accurate. Um I typically, unless I'm streaming, like I stream for a lot longer than I actually normally trade. Like yesterday I only streamed for 30 minutes. I could tell the market was going range. Um but But for the most part, a lot of times I'll sit down and I'll like grab a trade reversal, just check it every now and then at certain times of the day on my phone, see when it's like hitting tops or hitting bottoms, and then see where the 5200 crossover is about, and then jump down, take some quick trades, and then be done. And I can usually pull about 400 bucks a day doing that, trading the ES mainly. The issue really comes into play when I still have a ways to go and a fair amount to learn in terms of things like order flow, um, and I would say also in cutting losses faster, not letting my losses grow, and I think that happens a lot of the time because when my losses tend to happen, it's something that looks like it's about to bounce and it's like pulled back. So I'll buy in the pullback and then it'll sort of stall out there for a little bit and keep looking like it's going to come up. I might be a little bit in profit, might be a little bit out of profit, etc. And then it'll just dump. And that's like the main thing that I personally deal with in terms of my losses, I think right now. And what else? Yeah, no. Yeah, this is exactly I totally agree with you. That's exactly what I want. Like I'm going for the same thing. I want to be done in 15 minutes. I want to know exactly when to sit down, take my strategy, and then walk away. And hit about 400 bucks a day. Like to me, 400 bucks a day feels comfortable. It's just over six figures. What does it come out to, like 200 grand? So it's a I think in my opinion it's reasonable. Um, and but everyone's gonna have a different financial thermometer. 200 grand to somebody might be a ton of money. 200 grand to somebody might be a drop in the bucket. So it's really just about perspective. Um, and I'm not even sure if that comes out to about 200 grand, but I think it is. $400 times 255 market days. It's actually 100 grand. So it's actually about half of what I would even feel comfortable with. 100K to me just doesn't feel like a lot of money. And I don't mean that in any sort of disrespectful way. But the reason why I say that is because um, take taking just certain cities into example, Seattle or New York, like you have to be earning like $237,000 a year just to be um just to be considered the beginning of middle class. Like it's like just that middle class. It's not even like upper class. It's not even wealthy. And so to me, 400 bucks a day gets me to what I would consider to be a baseline, which is about 100K. So, and I think I personally think it can be done. Um, like you mentioned that you made, over 1,000 in a day on a micro, which is freaking awesome. Like I want ZZ, this is what I want. I want your trading strategies to be my own and for mine to be yours. Like I would love to be able to have that knowledge exchange because there are things that you're going to be good at that I'm not, and vice versa. And what I would really truly love would have us both have the skills to be able to be interchangeable so that we can both work in the markets that we're working with at any given time. I think one of the biggest challenges of being a trader is knowing when to switch that strategy for whatever the market it is, because we don't get to trade the market that we want to trade in. We have to trade the market that's in front of us. Wow. There is heavy support and resistance on both sides right now on the ES. I totally want to master book maps. This thing has like I took like 2 or 3 really solid, pretty profitable trades using this, and I was like, wow, like I'm hooked. Yeah, I wanna know more. ES starting to look potentially like a short here. Let's see if it drops below the 50 EMA, but the volume really dropped on it though. I guess it's not terrible. It's still like almost 3K. It just looks like it's moving slow. So I say ES potential for short because number one, we got red on the TTM, and we've got 9 below 12 and on approach for that 1226 crossover. What would make me hesitate to go short on it is that we're above the 50 moving average and we're kind of hanging out on the 35 moving average. So did this ever hit 80? No, it hit 79.50 and pulled back off that. There's a lot of orders right here, sitting at 75 and a quarter. So I might look for a red yellow on the 1 minute chart on the ES. Dude, I did shoulders at the gym yesterday, man. I just feel like I'm just like having to stretch just all day. We got resistance right here at 76. One minute downward cross on 9/12/26. It may be short-lived though, just because we're kind of steadily hanging above the EMA 35. I'll have to wait and see for this for the red to yellow on the TTM, I think. As far as this goes, it looks like none of these really got filled, but they did get pulled. Yeah, I would say that 10K a month is about survivable. Like I live in the Pacific Northwest, dude. Like this is one of the more expensive places in the country. There are more expensive places like New York in California are way more expensive than the PNW, but the PNW is still a pretty expensive place to live. So for me, 100K is sort of like baseline. Um, it's challenging to live here under that. Back in like 08 or 09 or something, it was like right. Okay, so I started my very first business when the economy crashed in 2008. I started it a month before the housing market crashed. That was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. Um, when it happened, we offered a less expensive alternative to for internet in the area, and were providing speeds that were similar to Xfinity, which was Comcast at the time, and so we were in a pretty decent position. And at that time, I earned yeah a pretty hefty, let's just say in the lower side, but multiple six figures. Um, and it was eye opening to me because I was a kid that came from poverty, um, like at times kind of extreme poverty. So and the PNW and the West as a whole has become a place where you're either rich or you're practically homeless, unless you were somebody who had locked in a place to live before everything became what it is. Um, and so at this particular point in the PNW, like one needs to basically make about 100K just to afford basic existence. It sounds like a lot, but understand like just imagine that 5 years ago, $100,000 made was dramatically more buying power than it is now. Um, and the economy, like the money supply has been so diluted over the last 5 years, like the buying power just isn't there anymore for $100,000. So I know they said they've gotten inflation down pretty heavily, but that doesn't change the fact that we still had like 18% inflation aggregate over that period of time. So um so, someone made $100,000 a year before that. That same 100 grand is closer to like $75,000 almost. So they lost a massive amount of buying power. So that's why I say that. And frankly, like it really feels to me as if you're earning whatever you're earning needs to increase by about 10% per year every year until the end of time in order to beat inflation. And I think it's kind of corny that that we have to do that, but that's the scenario that we're in. So we don't make the world; we just live in it. And we can change it as much as we possibly can, but we have a lot more control over changing the world around us as opposed to changing the world as a whole. So I think that's sort of how I feel about it. I know it's a little bit of a tangent, a little bit of a rant on it, but just thoughts. I agree with you. I don't believe at all what they're saying about inflation. And yes, it does suck for people at the bottom. I was a person at the bottom. Um, when I say like pretty extreme poverty, like I lived in a Jeep for a while. Uh, so I at one point in my time in my life was creatively getting electricity. We'll just say that. Um, and yeah, that is the living wage. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. 100K or more is like that's like the baseline. Like um that doesn't mean that we should make minimum wage be 100K because then everything else will just cost more money. But it does I'll never ever forget. I was working as a teenager. I was like 16 years old, and my I was making just over minimum wage. I was making like 25 cents an hour over minimum wage. And I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, they're going to raise the minimum wage by like 50 cents in January." And she's like, "Great." And I'm like, well, I'm happy about it cuz I'm going to be making more money. And I'm like, "What about you? Like, do you make 50 cents more per hour when that happens?" She goes, "Nope." I was like, "What do you mean you don't?" I'm like, "But won't." Yeah. Uh, she's like, "Nope, I won't make an additional 50 cents more per hour." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "Won't if everybody makes 50 cents more per hour, won't the cost of things go up? So shouldn't you get 50 cents more, or me get 50 cents more per hour?" And she's like, "That's not how it works." She's like, "That what you're talking about is a cost of living increase that matches the price of whatever minimum wage is, and therefore matching the cost increases." She's like, "Think about this: if everyone makes a little bit more money, all that's going to happen is the stores and rent and everything else is going to go up about that much or a little bit more." And I'm like, "Well, then how does this help everyday people?" She's like, "It doesn't." She's like, "But that's just what it is. You just got to make more money." And I was like, "Whoa." Because we were living, my mom was working 3 jobs at that time, dude. Three. Think about that. Um, Yeah, exactly. My mom was working 3 jobs at that time, dude, and it was just kinda like she's like, you just gotta work harder, make more money." I was like, "Wow," that really floored me because I was like, if they're gonna continually increasing minimum wage, like, which is necessary, it's a necessary evil of inflation, but at the same time, every time minimum wage is raised, every single person who makes more than minimum wage has less buying power every time. And so it was like this vicious cycle that really blew my mind at 16 years old, to see as a whole on the grand scheme of things. I think we kind of might have found the bottom here, found some support around this around 75 on the ES. Looks like we may have some opportunity to go long here. Chart's moving very slowly though. Yeah, the volume's kind of leaving. Nah, it's getting rangy and sideways. Look at that. I don't want to trade that. It's getting too rangy and sideways. Kind of slowing down a lot. Man, this system's a scam. It is and it isn't. Okay, so it's not that it's a scam. Okay, it someone once told me scam is an acronym for seriously confused about money, and that also blew my mind because I was like, "What the hell?" Like, I mean, obviously there are flat out scams that are cons, but it's not necessarily that the system itself is a scam. What one needs to be aware of is what the true inflation is, not the reported inflation, but what the true inflation is. And then it is required that we beat that inflation by a certain amount, by a certain percentage, or match it in order to maintain buying power. And so It it may feel that way, man. Like, it may feel like it is a scam, and there are flat out scams within the system. You are absolutely 100% correct on so many levels on that. However, as far as capitalism is concerned, I would not go so far as say capitalism is a scam because I personally feel like more like socialism and communism kind of feel like more on the scammy side of things because it's like you're just trapped, dude. You got nothing. You don't even have the opportunity to earn that additional 10%. Because once you do, you're just gonna get taxed higher and higher. It's not necessarily that way in the United States with capitalist systems because you do have the capability to like if you learn like okay, I worked sales for a really long time, and in every sales job, there is a compensation plan. The United States has a compensation plan. It's called the IRS code. It's they just call it the tax system. but the tax system is actually a compensation plan in disguise. It's one that can actually charge you. Um, I'm just gonna. Well, it still is a scam. Uh, the money and the system itself is based on nothing. Private banks create money out of nothing. You are absolutely correct. Private banks do create money out of nowhere, out of thin air, and the Federal Reserve does as well. Federal Reserve banks around the world. You're absolutely correct in that regard, because frankly, if people are getting ahead too much, then that's when you'll see oftentimes governments will just print crap tons of cash, or there'll be a crisis or a manufactured crisis where they'll print crap tons amounts of cash to dilute buying power of the average individual, which prevents the average individual from moving forward significantly. The reason why I say there are certain elements of it that is not a scam is that if you understand these things, now I'm not saying this is easy at all, because it's not, and I've personally been working at it myself. But if you understand these systems, you understand something. You understand that if you have the ability to scale your own private economy, i.e., scale your income, then you have the capability of working around, working through that system, and putting yourself in a position to be able to move forward. Now, it is my own personal belief that you are not wealthy if no one else on your team is wealthy. So if you're the only one wealthy and people around you are broke, you got work to do. But if you're able to take your income and increase it by roughly 10% per year, you'll beat that buying power threshold. You can play the game, but at the end of the day, it's still a Ponzi scheme. Uh, the current financial with the current financial framework, you're correct. I feel you, but dude, you guys are both correct, and I feel you guys too, and that's just to be real, because it's just not like it's absolutely designed to make everyday people fail. Like, there's no question. It is totally designed to create failure, and people at the bottom won't, but some will. That's one of the reasons why you can see. Um, that's one of the reasons why you've seen, like, the vast majority of millionaires are created from poverty people. It's like 80%. Like, it's a really high number of people who become millionaires out of poverty. Uh, uh let me restate that or rephrase that. Uh, the vast majority of people in poverty will stay in poverty forever, and generational poverty is a real thing. However, of the people that become millionaires, the vast majority of them come from poverty or lower middle class. And the reason for that has a lot to do, there's a ton of reasons for it. One of them is a stronger family household, or at least having one strong parent in the household that can help create a certain set of values for those people. But I digress from that, because I don't want to get too much down that whole value path. But uh, learning all that you can about money and currency is really, really what money is. Money is a currency, and so hence it's a current, so it flows like the currents of the ocean and rivers and things like that. It's just a matter of carving your own delta, which is very challenging to do. I'm not going to pretend like that is not challenging to do, but one can carve their own delta for currency to flow through. And it's a mindset shift, and it's very challenging to do. And the people at the bottom are majority. So the rule the rule and the rich and minority are the exception. You are correct. You are correct. I'm not denying that in any capacity. I myself was a person who grew up in severe poverty. When I say severe, like, I don't mean like how do I put it? I had friends that were living in motel rooms. I had friends that were addicted to horrible substances before high school. I had friends that were homeless in high school. And so and they would show up to school basically so they could get food. Um, so that's yeah, it is Ponzi like, man. You're not wrong. But what other system is there? Because socialism means that the government takes care of you more or less cradle to the grave. Um, and the vast majority of people who actually create income will also pay heavy amounts of taxes unless they understand the tax compensation code, the tax compensation plan, and so they'll simply funnel their funds through S corporations, or they'll simply funnel their funds through trusts and IRAs and other ways that create tax exemptions or tax credits, or just reduce the amount of income that they actually need to pay taxes on. So yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense, Origin. Um, but as far as trading goes, man, like we just got a big drop here on the ES. We're pulling back up some. This drop right here from 74 down to 71.50. We may get a pop up here. So we did this 9, 12, 26 crossover on the TTM, and the 9 is crossing above the 35 here. The stream's going to shut down here in about a minute and a half. So currently sitting on red 44 for the day. So not a great day, but not a terrible day either. We may have an opportunity for like a 3 and 3 up here if we can break through this 200 moving average. Oh, this actually looks decent. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down there. But used to be people before these systems. It's not needed. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm gonna have to shut the stream down because it only goes for 2 hours on max, and then the system will just automatically shut it down. It's gonna jump off here automatically in like 15 seconds. So I'm gonna jump over in the Discord community, and we'll see y'all in there. Much love and appreciation. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time. But yeah, it's gonna shut off. So peace.